I now request our Rashtrapati Ji to kindly deliver his inaugural address.
Shri K. Shankar Narayan, Governor of Maharashtra, Shri Prithviraj Jabhar, Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Sundar Lal Mehta, President Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Shri Murli Devra, Vice President Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Mr. Justice Sri Krishnaya, Vice President Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Srimati Kishori Amankar, Srimati Leela Bhatt, Sri Narayan Murthy, Sri C.R. Gahre Khan, Dr. H.N. Dastur, distinguished members of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a privilege for me to be here today at the formal inauguration of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and the 125th birth anniversary of its illustrious founder, Dr. K. M. Munshi. Dr. K. M. Munshi was a true visionary, institution builder, and a great son of India. He was of a small build, but there was nothing small in what he achieved during his lifetime. He was a towering personality who became a legend in his own lifetime. Munshi ji demonstrated excellence in diverse fields of human endeavor. He was a writer, speaker, lawyer, constitutional expert, statesman, and a promoter and sustainer of cultural, ethical, and moral values. He endeavored of establishing Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in 1938, was one of the most important states in a series of selfless efforts put in by him in emancipating the citizenry of this nation. The foundation of Bhavan echoed his deeply entrenched belief in the instrument of education, which he firmly believed could offer wings to the growth and development of India. Born in a small town of Bharuch, Gujarat, 125 years ago, Munshi ji was always an excellent student. His life was tremendously influenced by Sri Aurobindo. He took up law at the University of Bombay and enrolled himself as an advocate in 1913. He acquired the reputation of a diligent and hard-working lawyer. During World War I, he was greatly influenced by Dr. Rani Besant's Home Rule movement. Later on, he came in close contact with Gandhiji. That led him to offer his wholehearted support for Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's Bardoli movement and Gandhiji's Salt Satyagraha. His active participation brought him in close quarters with Gandhiji and Sardar Patel, who mobilized his active participation in Congress. He started the movement for a parliamentary wing of the Congress party and became the secretary of the Congress Parliamentary Board in 1938 and served in the Central Legislative Assemblies, Constituent Assemblies, Provisional Parliament. Gandhiji ignited Munshi ji's zeal to serve the nation through active politics. It is said that Sri Aurobindo instilled in him Gyan Yug, while Gandhiji made him a Karma-yogi. Munshi ji's solidarity and devotion to the cause of nation was unparalleled. When Nizam of Hyderabad was stubborn in acceding to the Union of India, it was Munshi ji who was sent as the Agent General of the Government of India in Hyderabad in 1947. He served there until its final accession in 1948. It is said that if Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was the architect of Hyderabad's accession to India, Munshi ji was the engineer in the field. Acknowledging Munshi ji's role, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel wrote to him, I quote, "On behalf of the government, I wish to say that we are deeply conscious of the high sense of public duty that induced you to accept this office and the very able manner in which you have discharged the duties entrusted to you, which contributed in no small measures to its final solution." Unquote. Munshiji's contribution as the Union Minister of Food and Agriculture from 1950 to 52 is well recognized. He launched the Grow More Food campaign, which ultimately resulted in the Green Revolution. He was also Governor of the state of Uttar Pradesh from 52 to 57. He made a far-reaching contribution in the shaping of India's constitution. His incisive understanding of law and insight into India's cultural fabric made him one of the most outstanding members of the Constituent Assembly. What might amaze many is that besides being the member of the drafting committee, he was member as many as 11 subcommittees, which made him perhaps to play such a pervasive role in the drafting of the Constitution. The principle of guaranteeing to every person equal protection of the law was the result of the joint draft proposed by Munshiji and Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Munshiji's sense of equality did not confine itself to mere legal protections. He was a strong advocate of the social reforms, including widow remarriage. Societal discrimination for the delinquent children drove him to found a children's home for delinquent children at Chembur in Bombay in 1939. His love and service to the countrymen was unparalleled and driven by a strong sense of personal commitment. A prolific writer and conscientious journalist, Munshiji started a Gujarati monthly called Bhargava, joint editor of Young India, and he started the Bhavan's journal in 1954. Some of his better known books are Gujarat and its literature, Akhand Hindustan, Glory that was Gujarat Desh, The Ruin that British wrought, The End of an Era, etc. He was also president of the Sanskrit Vishya Parishad, the Gujarati Sahitya Parishad, and Hindi Sahitya Sammelan. Munshiji was a great dreamer of our country. One was Mahatma Gandhi himself, who dreamt of a world without violence, a world of love and compassion, who dreamt of an India strong, united, democratic, playing its useful role in the committee of the nations. Munshiji was also a great dreamer. He dreamt of a cultural renaissance built on modifying and spiritual heritage of our country to suit modern conditions. He wanted to make sure that every young person of his times and for the future should imbibe and benefit from India's cultural and spiritual heritage. He wrote, I quote, "The values of culture are recaptured for each generation by a subtle process of reinterpretation, reintegration, and adaptation. When the culture is living, the promising young men and women of the generation receive the impact of its fundamental values. The sensitive and the vigorous among them become each a human laboratory which purifies the fundamental values, relating them afresh to the central idea, stimulates them to meet the needs of the times, integrate the subsidiary values with the fresh vigor of the new interpretation, and shapes the traditions and institutions not only without imparting the strength of the collective will, but by giving it a new age." Unquote. 3/4 of a century ago, Munshiji could foretell the impending turmoil over the moral and ethical values. He believed that freedom would be meaningless and worthless unless cultural, ethical, and moral values are enshrined in the hearts and minds of our people. Munshi therefore felt the need to create an institution that could begin to bring about in a small way a tangible change through the education. Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, which was started as an institution, is now a massive cultural and educational movement. It is a moral movement that steers people towards a life guided by ethics. The Bhavan is today rendering yeoman service to the people of our nation and through them to entire humankind. The Bhavan has not merely adopted as its motto the Vedic proclamation Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, but proves it through its words and deeds. What Munshi expected to achieve through the Bhavan can be narrowed down to three main points. Firstly, he wanted the other worldliness in outlook of the people to be replaced by a sense of joy in the life as it is to be lived. Secondly, he felt that outmoded traditions which stifle the creative vitality of individual and collective life must be replaced by a vigorous, flexible attitude to life. And thirdly, the fundamental values which have given ageless inspiration to our culture had to be captured afresh for our generation. Movements such as the Bhavan are the need of the day. The Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan has stood the test of time and has been a beacon light guiding Indian and foreigners alike in their path of life of a balanced and wholesome life. With 119 centers in India and around 7 centers abroad, including United States and the United Kingdom, Munshi's dream of promoting ethical and spiritual values in day-to-day life is successfully accompanied by the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. I pay my compliments to the staff of the Bhavan and for their tireless efforts in translating Munshi's vision into reality. Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan confers its highest honor, its honorary membership on those who have rendered outstanding services to the people of our country as well as the world. It has conferred this honor today on 3 very outstanding citizens of our country. Each one of them is a brilliant star in their chosen field of activity. I take this opportunity of humbly paying my tribute to their contributions to the country and to the nation. And I also congratulate Bhavan on its wonderful choice. Srimati Kishori Amankar, a towering maestro of Hindustani Shastriya Sangeet and legendary performer of Jaipur Asarala Gharana, has given us pure joy for over half a century. Srimati Ila Bhatt, Gandhian, is an exemplary champion of the social causes. Her work has brought her and our country world renown and recognition. She has transformed poor and underprivileged women into proud, confident, self-organized and courageous citizens of our country. Sri N.R. Narayan Murthy, who led our nation on the path of becoming a world leader in information technology, is an inspiration to the youth of our country. With these words, I take great pleasure in formally inaugurating the celebrations of the Platinum Jubilee of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and the 125th birth anniversary of a noble son of India, late K.M. Munshi. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the patience. Jai Hind.